when we're pulling comps and we're trying to forecast revenue based off of comps that are in a market, a lot of it initially is predicated on sleep count, not necessarily bedroom count.
How's it going, everybody? I'm here with Carson, the head of data for STR Search. There was a while there where nobody thought that there was somebody else that could do what I do. I heard that so many times, like, John, you're one of one, but I hate that because I think that you can learn it if you actually just go through the process. And Carson is somebody that we were able to find to bring into the STR Search team, and he has been running the data side for almost a full year now, right? So he is our head of data. He runs our data team. He's now got two other individuals underneath him. And what we want to talk about here is just key insights that Carson has learned through the past year working with us, right? You've probably helped out on over 100 deals in that time frame. And so let's talk about some of the key insights, the key takeaways, the things that, people who are trying to do this themselves, what can they learn from what you've learned, right? So
Yeah.
very first question is like, what are some very incremental things that you learned? Because also he has his own Airbnbs. He was doing this before. He's an absolute data nerd just like I am. He understands the data, but there's more things that he learns once he started working with us. And so what are some of those little things that you learned?
So I'd say one of the biggest things initially that stood out, that even if you do own Airbnbs, I have 8 myself, and it didn't resonate right away, was the fact that when we're pulling comps and we're trying to forecast revenue based off of comps that are in a market, a lot of it initially is predicated on sleep count, not necessarily bedroom count. That's because that's how Airbnb search actually functions. Actually, most OTAs search function that way. You search based off the number of people that are going, and then after the fact can filter down.
Yep, that's actually something that I made a huge mistake on, back in 2020 when I was originally starting to like put out educational videos. I was like, "Oh, hyper focus on your bedroom count." And then I realized I'm like, "No, you have to actually look at the 3 bedrooms and 5 bedrooms if you're looking at a 4 bedroom because it does determine based off of sleep count more than anything else,
Yep,
right?" Yeah.
absolutely. And as much as we tie everything back to revenue, we do keep the product in mind. So we'll go through all the quantitative analysis to understand at different uh, revenue percentiles, um, how much revenue a 3 bed can make versus a 4 bed, sleeping 8 versus 10. We'll even go into the bed count and understand where we can start to incrementally earn more revenue by increasing the number of beds, because we know it's a heads and beds market, or we know it's a market where people don't want to share beds near as much as they want their own individual beds.
Yep.
So we look at that on the revenue side, but then we take it a step further and we validate that on the product side. And the way that we do that is we start going and proxying queries in Airbnb. So I use my own VPN. I will go proxy queries, meaning I will search a variety of different ways. So that way Airbnb doesn't know it's coming from the same person. And what I'm paying attention to is the number of listings that are being returned. And then as I apply those filters in Airbnb on the little button they show, you're going to see how many listings fall off, right? And what we're interested in is not only making sure that we're maximizing revenue, but I come back to maximizing impression share, right? I want to include the things in a market that when that button says there's 1,000+ listings, it's going to take it down to 100 listings, because now we are severely diminishing our competition solely by being strategic with the data back decisions that we're going to make on our properties. The same applies for amenities, right? I think people
Right.
tend to look at amenities on a very high level in terms of, what is going to be the revenue impact of adding an amenity. And that can be challenging to answer because it's a multivariate problem. And we'll look at the box plots to understand what the median value is, or the 75th percentile, 25th percentile of properties that have a hot tub. But one of the considerations, again, is the proportion of listings in a market that have it or don't.
Yeah.
Comes back to visibility and search impression share. We want to reduce, our competition out there and increase the likelihood that we're showing up.
A lot of what Carson's saying here in layman terms, is what are the things within a market that are going to allow you to be a one of one, right? How are you going to narrow down your Airbnb so that it's really hard for anybody else to compete with you, right? You have 10 things, your competitor has 2. Therefore, you're in this really niche down category. What are those main revenue drivers? And then what are some of those really smaller ones that just kind of put you in your own category, right? Awesome. So what about markets? How do you look into a market and determine if that's going to be a market that's worthy of going into or not?
Yeah. So for context, we have a number of proprietary processes we run on the back end. So a lot of what I'm going to say is based off of the clean data that we're working with. So when I'm looking at a market and I start getting out a lot of the bad data, I start getting out of a lot of the bad comps. One of the things that I start to look at is the density of listings in increments of $10,000. right?
Mm.
So properties making 70 to 80, 80 to 90, 100 to 110. And what I'm starting to look at in a market is the break point or the inflection point of where the competition's starting to go down, right? The proportion of listings in increments of 10,000 is starting to decrease. And I'm personally starting to pay attention to um, at what revenue bands that starts to happen. And then the market I'm looking at, I'll go to Zillow, Redfin, a number of other sources, and I'll consider that relative to the real estate values in those markets. And that's kind of like the real quick math way, like the very high level way of understanding what's the likelihood we're going to be able to find deals that are going to pencil in that particular market.
So I'm just going to re-explain that because you explain things in great detail. So I want to make sure everyone understands exactly what he's saying here. If we go look into a market and there are 30 properties that are all making roughly $100,000, and then we go and take a look at Zillow and we see that there's a handful of properties that are for sale for about $500,000 that kind of look similar to that, we're gonna have a ton of confidence going into that market because we know that there's a good potential for us to be able to cash flow in that market. Now, if we looked at another market, we saw that there were two people making $100,000 and everybody else was making less, and then you go look at the properties and they're selling for $500,000, we're gonna have a lot less confidence in that market just simply because there's not a ton of properties that are performing at a certain level, right? And so the more properties that are performing at that different increment, whether it's like 90 to 100 or 100 to 110, whatever it may be, the more confidence we are going to get. I'm kind of a chicken when it comes to this stuff. Like I'm super conservative and I'm always nervous about losing our clients' money. And so there's markets where you can without a doubt make 200, 250, $300,000 out of these properties, but there's only like 1 to 3 comparable properties that are doing it. And that terrifies me in those markets, right? So we tend to avoid them because there's, in my opinion, more risk. And what Carson's trying to say here is that the more validation, the more properties making within a certain price range, the more confidence we're going to have that that market is less risky, right? You're going to be able to go in there and you're going to feel a lot more confident if you do things right. Always if you do things right.
Yeah, we don't want to be the early adopters.
Yeah.
And prove that out.
Yeah. Now, mind you, some of our clients want to be and we'll help there, but regardless, for the vast majority, we're trying to just find what works. So, with all that being said, any last little words you want to give to anybody that's watching this, that is trying to find Airbnb, trying to understand the data, any little tips, tricks, whatever it may be?
Yeah, hire us. If you don't, you're going to compete with us, and I promise you, we will put together a
That's
better
not.
product.
I didn't expect him to say that. We were just trying to add value here, but I do appreciate it. So, all right, that's Carson, our head of data. He absolutely crushes it, and as you can see, he's a boy genius, man genius.